live from the CSI Soccer Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island in Staten Island, New York. CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of NCAA women's soccer, taking on the visiting New York University Violets, coming in at 4-2-1 in non-conference play. Here we are this afternoon on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. David Pizzuto alongside Mike Babuski. And Mike, a modified pregame for us, but two teams that are used to winning, that have done it for many years now. NYU's had a commanding edge in this series over the years, but it's their first meeting in 5 years between these two sides.
Yeah, you know, it's an opportunity for the Dolphins to try to get back on the winning ways, Dave. They're coming off of a 2-0 loss against Montclair State University. This is their final of 4 consecutive non-conference home games, so Dolphins would like to be able to finish these 4 games with a 500 record, even at 2-2, but the competition doesn't get any easier today, Dave. A very good NYU team coming in this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. As Mike mentioned, the Dolphins currently 1-2 on the way for 2 days and come back on October 6th. The opposite, 2-0-1 in
their first 5 games. They just allowed a single goal, but since that time, Dave, and you know, the more concerning thing is that they've allowed multiple goals allowed in their last 3 games, and all 3 games, the best they could do is 1 tie out of the 3.
Yeah, and the Dolphins in their non-losses have only given up a total of 3 goals, and in their 2 defeats they've given up 7, so it gives you a sense of how well they're playing defensively when they have some success. And NYU, very similar, Mike, in this last 3-game undefeated streak. They haven't given up a goal. They have yet to allow a goal in their last 340 minutes played, and the Dolphins are going to have a tall task ahead of them. They're going to have to find some offense from different places. Where do they look for that offense?
Well, you know, that's exactly the key, Dave, because for the Dolphins, it's been a question in some of these last games of really struggling offensively. In the game against Montclair State, they were credited with 7 shots and 5 on goal, but, you know, they really, for the most part, they weren't that threatening at the net, and, you know, they've struggled finishing around the net, and you go back to that 2-2 tie against CCNY, a game that the Dolphins dominated in shots and forced CCNY to make 20 saves in the net, and, you know, that's where the Dolphins are looking for, that big finish around the net. And you know, in a game like today, you know, you're only going to get limited opportunities at the Violet goal, and you want to take advantage when those opportunities arise.
Yeah, and a couple of things to consider too, Mike, is that some of the Dolphins' marquee offensive players are not in the starting lineup today. Stephanie LaPointe, number 2, Brittany Bornstead, who's second on the team with 2 goals, she's not in the starting lineup. Susan Aracena is. Victoria Sanchez with 2 goals, also not in the starting lineup. That's not to say we won't see them here this afternoon. It is hot. It is muggy. The conditions are not conducive to the end of September weather, so you know that head coach Giuseppe Panetti is going to be very pointed at where he uses some of this offense, and it's probably going to come off the bench late in the first and second halves.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Panetti plays it here this afternoon. And, you know, for the CSI Dolphins, you know, we mentioned they're bouncing back off of that 2-0 loss against Montclair State, and, you know, really at this point, Dave, looking to get some offense going, and, you know, would like to come out and get off to a strong start here this afternoon. They had that big 3-0 win against St. Joe's Brooklyn back here on September 23rd, and they played well in that game against a pretty good St. Joe's team. So they're looking to continue to build on that before they travel out to Rosemont College this Saturday afternoon, and then play on the road against FDU Florham, and then, you know, really get back to business with the conference schedule.
All right, so what we are going to do, Mike, as you see the starters on your screen, we will cut to a commercial break for the playing of our national anthem. When we come back, we'll go over in fine detail the starting lineups for both teams. It's all when we come back next here on CSI Sportsnet. Moments away from NYU and CSI coming up next.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike,
Welcome back here to the CSI Soccer Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island. The anthem has been played. Both teams will go to their respective sidelines for the last of their instructions from their coaches. And Mike, while we have this opportunity before kickoff, let's look at today's starting lineups.
Well, why don't we start with the NYU Violets, Dave? And in goal, it'll be Sophia Danielson. The remainder of their starting lineup: Sharon Lee, number 3, number 4, Markel Love, number 5, Judith Rath, number 10, Alex Benedict, number 14, Naomi Oguana, number 16, Ashley Kogowski, number 17, Maddie Shire, number 20, Isabel Turner, number 21, Steph Ho, and number 34, Maddie Howard. For the College of Staten Island, it will be Kayla DiBenedetto getting another start in goal. The remainder of the starting lineups for the Dolphins this afternoon, it'll be Lauren Smith, Rebecca DeLoya, Susan Aracena in the starting lineup, as Dave mentioned earlier, Nicole Mignon, Lisbeth Aparicio, Catherine Mulligan back in the starting lineup today after missing the game against Montclair State University on Saturday, Natalia Sandor, Brianna DiStefano, Caitlin Russo, and Adriana Perillo.
Absolutely, Mike. And one of the good things about the Dolphins is you notice number 16, Catherine Mulligan, back in the starting lineup. She missed the game this weekend due to personal affairs. She's back in the lineup. And the Dolphins also expect to see Ashley Hunter in this game. She was serving a suspension due to a red card that she sustained last week. Her suspended date was obviously CSI's last loss against Montclair State. So we expect to see her, again, probably coming off the bench for a spot or two. So that's some good news for the Dolphins as far as personnel. And, you know, Mike, one of the things about this series, they haven't played since 2012, and the only person involved in that game from either sideline, aside from us two old guys, is NYU's coach, Michelle Canning. She's been the coach now. This is her 7th season, so she was there on hand for that 10-3 win over the Dolphins back in 2012, one of the most high-scoring games in CSI history, and it was owned by the Violets.
Yeah, and, you know, the Dolphins looking for a far different result here this afternoon. And, you know, for the Dolphins, it always starts defensively, Dave, and, you know, Dolphins need to play well defensively and limit the kind of wide-open runs through the penalty area that you just can't afford to allow when you're playing a good soccer team.
Absolutely. So the Dolphins will have to be well guarded. They will go from left to right on your screen. Whatever wind is blowing, probably east and west here and not so much north-south. So probably benefits no one in this scenario, at least in the first half. NYU, of course, in their dark-colored jerseys, they will go from right to left. And they will have to go against Kayla DiBenedetto, Mike, who, as a freshman, has seen a majority of time in between the pipes for the Dolphins. She's been awful good. She's 4-1-1 this season, a save percentage of .762. She hasn't been tested a great deal, 16 saves in 7 games played, but she's been crisp in this first year, and sometimes we forget this is the first year for a lot of players in the lineup.
Yeah, you know, this is a very young Dolphin team, Dave, as you mentioned, starting in goal, so DiBenedetto playing very well so far.
And NYU gets the opening kickoff, and they are attacking from the left flank. Number 16, Ashlyn Kogowski, had the first touch. Ogawa playing it up in the middle to Benedict. Benedict, their leading goal scorer. Krogowski once again with a simple touch, playing it right back to Ogawa. And now NYU will switch things up on their back line. Maddie Shear had a touch, playing it over to Howard, and now far sideline they go. And NYU looks to attack from the right-hand side. Sending it up, a through ball was interrupted briefly by Aparicio. Trying to catch up to it was Benedict, and it's going to go out of play. And we're going to have a corner kick first of the game here, less than a minute in.
Yeah, you know, not to start the Dolphins looking for defensively, Dave, allowing a corner in the first minute.
So teeing it up will be NYU. I believe that's Benedict who's doing the spot there on the far sideline. Hard to see from here, but she puts a left-footed boot into it. A quick header, and that one escapes the goal frame. Trying to catch up to it was Ogawa. She does catch up to it, is able to send it once again. Top of the box, played through. CSI there to clear. But once again, NYU converging on it. Sharon Lee had a touch, plays it back right side, and here comes a through ball in the box, but Kayla DiBenedetto able to scramble to her left and make the play. Yeah,
a couple of good opportunities for NYU offensively, Dave. The Dolphins did pretty well defensively, defending it, but a nice header opportunity for NYU, and they didn't really get all of it.
Yeah, and they continue to own possession here, as seeing that one go out, last touched by the Dolphins. NYU lets it play. Ogawa, touch to Wraith, and now first touch for Steph Ho in the middle of the midfield stripe. Ho once again has to scramble back. Dolphins trying to force a turnover, but getting there first was Maddie Howard. Now CSI gets possession, and a quick toe up the field by Russo was interrupted by the defense, and CSI will get the throw.
Nice turnover forced that time by Sandor, leads to the Dolphin throw-in.
Quick throw in to Mignon, who gets her first touch of the afternoon, and it's off of her foot and out of bounds as NYU attempted to clear. 2.5 minutes in, no score between the Dolphins and the Violets. NYU 1-2 on the road this season. The Dolphins 3-2 at home. But as Mike mentioned, this is the last of a 4-game homestand for the Dolphins, in which they've only gone 1-2. And they'd love to break even here before they go on the road to FDU next week. Here comes NYU with some space back towards goal. But there is a lead pass up top to Markel Love. Now the quick touch to Ogawa. Ogawa looking near sideline, finding Krogowski, and now the cross in the middle. Aparicio was there to break things up, and there's a quick strike, top of the box there. I believe that was number 21, Steph Ho, who made the shot about 25 yards out. DiBenedetto in perfect position.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities for NYU, first on the cross and then on the shot on goal. And NYU doing a nice job, Dave, creating pressure in the Dolphin penalty area.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes in, and NYU has dominated play here, as most of the play has been on CSI side of the field, the defensive side of the field anyway. And Perello here will get the benefits of the throw, probably CSI's heaviest thrower. Aracena is able to get a forehead on it, but out of play. And Ogawa will come on to take the throw. Looking middle of the field to Love. Love not able to turn, but it's able to go up top to Benedict. Benedict with some space unleashes one towards the right side. And here comes NYU making a run. A little bit of space, but Aparicio's there to break up the play, but it will be a corner for the Violets, their second of the game.
Yeah, a couple of early corner kicks here for NYU. And, you know, Dave, they should here and, you know, got a pretty good opportunity off of the last corner defensively here on this one.
And taking it near post. Mulligan, first one there to get the head on it. Black jerseys there towards the back. This is Ogawa. Once again, they look to Krogowski near sideline, where NYU has done most of their attacking so far. The play up top to Love. Love looking to turn towards goal, cannot, dishes off. Now the pass over to Lee. Lee trying to break into the box, the give off to Benedict. Benedict turns around, back towards goal, turns around and unleashes, but that'll hit the side of the net and off of a CSI defender. So here comes corner kick number 3.
I believe that went off of Aparicio, Dave, for the Dolphins. I'm sorry, it was Deloya that the ball deflected off of.
For the Dolphins, they're up top, as there was a lot of...
Put up all 9 players into the box, had just one player back, and had really another wide open opportunity in the penalty area, this time making no mistake and putting it in the net, and the Dolphins lead 1-0, and that was a little too easy for the Violets, Dave.
Yeah, and the Dolphins had done well to clear 2 other corner kicks. But could be wrong, though. Number 20 possession. These set pieces and free kicks are going to be awful important for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it seems like they might be, Dave, and they really need to take advantage of these and put the ball in or close to the penalty area on these free kicks.
So Perello puts one towards the middle of the infield there. They try to get it into the box. A lot of black jerseys there to interrupt play, and now Love comes with it, her back towards goal. She had a little bit of room there, opted not to face goal and dump it off to Turner, and now Turner in a foot race with Deloya. Deloya wins it but's able to spill it out of bounds.
And, you know, Dave, we've gone through just over 8 minutes of play here, and the Dolphins really not able to put together passes and really struggling. NYU doing a nice job putting a lot of pressure on and really keeping the ball down on the Dolphins side of the field.
And that time the Dolphins able to get possession via the throw-in down deep.
We had just had an opportunity to take a look at the goal, Dave, and, you know, again, a nice corner kick and the ball played in front and just a lot of space there is another shot on goal there for the Violets.
Yeah, that one played by the Dolphins as they get another look at the replay here. There was the goal by Isabel Turner, clear as day. Nice job by Arthur Kapatanakis Engineering getting us the replay.
And, you know, Dave, the closest player to Turner was another NYU Violet.
Yep.
And so, again, the Dolphins not marking effectively right in the center of the box. And, you know, that will generally spell trouble, and that's why the Dolphins find themselves down 1-0.
Yeah, so the Dolphins down 1-0. They were shut out for the first time in 9 regular season games dating back to last year for the first time on Saturday. So they'd love to hit the register at some point today, get back to their goal-scoring ways. A very balanced attack for the Dolphins, but they haven't had any possession here in the first 8 minutes. Turning towards goal was Benedict. She's looking to feed one through the middle. Love is there. She's going to work one-on-one against Mulligan, but she sees it skip too strong and out of play. So this will be a goal kick for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and that time the Violets, with an unforced error, passed the ball out of bounds, and an opportunity for the Dolphins to try to see if they can build up a little bit of a possession, Dave. And, you know, you go back to that Montclair State game on Saturday, it was these plays, these free kicks, Dave, and the Dolphin throw-ins deep in their own defensive territory where they really struggled and where Montclair really did a good job pinning them in.
Yeah, and that last goal kick by Di Benedetto maybe sailed about 25 yards tops, and NYU is able to get possession of it. So Dolphins got to do well here to get the ball out of the defensive zone or that final third of the field. As Russo has an attempt here at a 50-50 ball, is able to spring it up the field a little bit more. Sharon Lee had a quick boot on it. Now it's played back up the field. Turner giving way to Benedict, but Benedict taken off of the ball by Aparicio, but NYU there to bring it back up, and now a loose ball finds the foot of Russo. Russo looking for Sandor. She had it very briefly before she was interrupted, and now Mulligan looks long ball off the chest of the defense for the Violets, and they're able to play it on their back line. Lee gives over to Howard. Howard going across the field. Ogawa is there. Kragowski now controls, racing down the sideline. Tried to play it up the middle of the field, but not on the same page was Love. And here comes NYU the other way, and it is Turner. Turner with some space, and now Di Benedetto coming out and is able to get a boot on it and kick it out of play. This will be another corner. So NYU with corner number 4 here in this half. In the first 10 minutes of play, their first goal came off the corner.
And, you know, Dave, Isabel Turner picked up her first goal of the year a little bit earlier today, and another opportunity to break in, forcing Di Benedetto to knock it out of bounds for the corner.
4 black jerseys in the goal mouth for NYU. And that one is interrupted by Kayla Di Benedetto. So that time she sprung right off of her line. noticed that the ball was placed short again, Mike, and DiBenedetto did not hesitate.
Yeah, nice play that time by DiBenedetto. But as you mentioned, Dave, 4 corner kicks allowed for the Dolphins in the first 11 minutes.
Yeah, and the Dolphins lead, or one of the league leaders in corners as well by an overwhelming margin, but they've been on the downside of that today as Mignon looking to find a streaking Russo. Russo working far sideline, looks middle of the field for Sandor, but Howard was there, and now NYU will play it back. First touch by Sophia Danielson in the game, and she's able to reverse field as NYU now looks near sideline. Ogawa looks up, but decides to play it across the line to Shear. Shear back over to Howard, and once again they go from left to right, and they decide to attack the other way. Turner with some space is able to send it up the field, and this is Benedict. Benedict with a lot of touches, mainly from that corner, working one-on-one against the defense, and CSI able to spill it. But once again, we'll have another set piece, this time a throw-in from the far side of the field. Big throw by Benedict, was looking for the box. DiStefano might have gotten ahead on it. Lee able to control her back towards goal, is able to reverse on Russo, and now has space. Threads the ball through the middle, but no one home as that one was too strong for Love.
That was a nice play by Lee, stripping the ball from Russo, but a pass too far ahead, so the Dolphins get a free kick here.
Yeah, CSI had a substitution checked in, and they want to get it in next time. Ashley Hunter will be the CSI Dolphin getting set to come in, so that was the reason for the little delay. 13 minutes in, and we have a foul whistled against NYU. That'll be against Love, so the Dolphins will have a free kick from their own side of the field.
And the Dolphins have done a little bit better job, Dave, calming down defensively inside their penalty area, now looking to get on track a little bit more offensively.
See what they do here with the free kick. It's up over midfield. Mignon was giving chase, but the first one there is Wraith. Wraith with a quick boot on it, but Aparicio was able to come back for the Dolphins and play. Now this is Perello. Perello giving over to DiStefano. Now Smith controls, drops off to Aracena. Aracena gains the offensive zone, now puts one up to Sandor. That was a nice ball for Natalia Sandor. Now she's working one-on-one against Howard, tries to put one through, but it is out of play, and this will be a corner kick. The Dolphins will get their substitution in as Ashley Hunter will replace. We'll see who it is. It's probably going to be Caitlin Russo who's trotting off. And Mike, the first substitution of the game, 15 minutes in on this very hot, humid, muggy day. Very little breeze here, as you can see by the flag blowing to the right of goal.
Yeah, it might be the first of many here this afternoon, Dave.
Sandor puts a right foot into it. It goes far post, but NYU is there to interrupt. Giving chase is Deloya. Working one-on-one against Benedict. That does go out of play. This will be NYU's ball, and they're looking to reset quickly here as we hear the instructions come up from the sideline.
Yeah, pretty good corner that time by Sandor, be a little bit beyond the far post. Nice defensive play by the Violets to break up the Dolphin opportunity.
Yeah, Sandor with 3 assists on the season. 2 of them have come by way of the corner. Meanwhile, Aracena is able to dispossess Krogowski, looking to play one through the middle. NYU got a foot on it, and now they retain control. Julia Wraith controls. She'll play it on the line as NYU reverses field now to the right side. Deloya able to punch it back into the NYU defensive zone, and NYU will reset from there. Pressure from Sandor on Howard. But NYU continues to control. Short, crisp, 5- and 10-yard passes, Mike, NYU has opted for in this one.
Yeah, and they've been very effective, Dave. They've, been able to move up and down the field with a short passing game. And, I can't remember any time at all, Dave, where they've resorted to just booting the ball down the field either or to the sideline. Very well disciplined, well coached, and coming out with a very nice interior passing game.
There was another through ball on the ground, but too strong as Benedict was late to arrive. DiBenedetto intercepts at the top of the box and is able to punt one away. Wraith got a quick head on it, drops off to Love. Love to Kragowski, back over to Love. Love working one-on-one against Perello, is able to dip one in to Kragowski. She's got space, puts one through the middle, and up over the head of DiBenedetto and in. And that is goal number 2, I believe, for Isabel Turner. And she was open there in the middle with a couple of different violets, Mike, but it was the play by Kragowski as she got sprung off of Susan Aracena, and that gives NYU a 2-0 lead, 16-10 into the first half.
Yeah, that was another beautiful play that time by the Violets as Kragowski put the ball across, and Turner was waiting there. And, you know, once again, Dave, a little bit too much space, and Turner made no mistake. Picking up her second goal of the afternoon and her second goal of the year, and it was a nice goal, but the Dolphins just not marking effectively back in their defensive penalty box. So we have a
CSI now had control for an instant, but they spill it out of bounds. It'll be Ogawa who will get the throw, as both teams will get substitutions into the game. It'll be number 13 and 23 for NYU, Charlotte Herberts, as we have a replay of the goal. And you can see that ball, Mike, was able to skip kind of a short hopper in for Turner, and she was able to bury it. And how about the day for Turner now? 2 goals here, her first 2 of the season.
Yeah, and that time, Dave, she broke right into the far post. No Dolphin defender anywhere near her, and she made a nice play to volley it in on a bounce, but she did have the opportunity to volley it into a wide-open goal with no Dolphin defender on top of her to make it a 2-0 lead.
NYU continues to control here. That one springs in to DiBenedetto. That was a through ball attempt there in the middle of play. Double assist, Mike, on that last goal. Love and Kragowski will get credits for the assist. A nice little give and go, and of course a beautiful cross, and allowed to hit the ground and skip over to Turner. And that'll make coaches frustrated, Mike, when you see crosses come into the box able to hit the ground.
Yeah, it really does, Dave. You know, that's pretty much the golden rule, is that the ball should never bounce in your penalty area. But another rule is, of course, that you got to mark defensively. And, you know, once again, Turner able to run into the far post really unimpeded and volley it into the net to make it 2-0.
And once again, for CSI, they have been unable to really get a lot of offense generated, and not a lot of retained possession, a lot of quick touches and volleys up the field, but Dolphins really haven't been able to play with the ball at their feet much at all, Mike, especially in the offensive zone.
Yeah, you know, they had a couple of quick opportunities and weren't able to make much out of them. And, you know, like you mentioned, it's pretty tough, Dave, when NYU is really possessing the ball. It seems a bit like 80% of the time.
Absolutely, as Brittany Bornstead is able to take the NYU attacker off the ball, but Bornstead is going to be called for the foul. Bornstead was the substitution that came in after the second NYU goal. Now a free kick opportunity and another set piece here for NYU, as it'll be Ogawa to take it, and she's going to switch fields here. Moves it over to Lee. Lee was looking to drop it off to Benedict, but getting in the way was Ashley Hunter, but the ball does find Benedict here on the far sideline. Once again, looking middle of the field for Lee. She tries to reverse field, finds Ogawa. Ogawa with a little bit of real estate in front of her, drops off to number 13, Herberts. NYU's able to back it up a little bit. Ogawa finding middle of the field for Wraith. Interrupting that was Mulligan. Wraith now controls and tries to volley one in the box, and on one hop, DiBenedetto is able to control.
Yeah, that was a nice attacking play that time by the Violets. A little bit mistimed, as the striking player kind of was back on her heels as the pass came in, but a nice idea, good defensive play by the Dolphins to deny the Violets.
And so it is Wraith with a quick touch, as NYU operating a lot now from the near side of the field. Ogawa looking straight up the pitch to Fazio. And that one is put on goal on one hop by Wraith, about 35 yards out. DiBenedetto able to control. She will make her 3rd save of the game. CSI looking to control across the field, cannot do so. Herbert's now looking to work on DiStefano. Herbert's able to win that battle, but CSI via the turnover getting it back. This is Bornstedt. Bornstedt reversing, now looking sideline in the direction of Sandor. Ogawa is there as well, and it will be CSI's possession here. About 30, 35 yards away from goal here, Mike. Dolphins looking for some offense. Aracena, long throw to Mignon. She's able to reverse on the ball. She's working against 2 defenders. Mignon loses it briefly, but Smith, a nice little deke by Smith. She's able to put one towards goal, and having to spring out of her goal mouth and make a play with Sophia Danielson. Registered as a shot for the Dolphins. Might have been heading wide of the net, but Danielson makes the stop, and a good one at that. And CSI with their first true opportunity of the game. And we have a substitutions for both teams heading in. For NYU, it'll be Maddie Shear and Tori Bianco. And it looks like Zerpolo will come in for the Dolphins. Daniela Zerpolo will check in for Lauren Smith, who has CSI's only shot of the game, and you saw that just moments ago. We have just over 23 minutes remaining here in the first half. NYU has dominated possession. They lead by 2 on 2 goals right in front of the goal mouth by Sophia Turner.
Yeah, and I thought, Dave, that last Dolphin possession was the first time they were able to put together a couple of passes in midfield, and it ended up after a throw and ended up with a Lauren Smith shot, and she comes and checks out of the game. But the Dolphins need a lot more of that midfield play, Dave, because right now the midfield has been dominated by NYU.
Yep, and the 2 goals by NYU have been scored by Isabel Turner. Might have missed her first name there, called her Sophia a couple of times, but it is Isabel, and she gets credit for both goals. Her first and second of the season. CSI able to clear by Aparicio. It did actually deflect off of Benedict. DiStefano, quick touch over to Zerpolo, who spills it out of bounds, and we have another substitution for NYU as Jade Keene will come into play. So Keene will come in to replace number 3, Sharon Lee. So the substitutions coming in fast and furious here as the Dolphins will enter their substitution into the game as well. It's Kiki Nugent who will check in maybe on the next opportunity.
Lee playing Dave Lee playing very well in the first half for the Violets before checking out, made a couple of nice physical plays on the Dolphins.
Nugent comes in to replace Mignon. CSI wins it briefly. Nugent continues to own the ball. DiStefano whiffed on the attempted rush up the field, and they do spill it out of bounds. It will be CSI's ball, as that one deflected off of the kneecap of Charlotte Herberts. CSI once again promptly kicks it out of play.
Hitting it with your forehead, it's going to go the other way.
You're going to see another substitution here for the Dolphins on the next whistle as Nermina Bracic is getting set to check in. Deloya able to play it up the pitch, but no true possession until NYU's able to control. Herberts was giving chase, but Mulligan made a nice play to interrupt that one, and Di Benedetto able to control. Fronted it first by Herberts. She now yields, and this will be punted all the way out to midfield. Ball allowed to skip a couple of times. Now finally touches down, and giving chase is Sandor. Sandor with a quick entry pass into Zerpolo, and Zerpolo not really going strong to the net that time, Mike, as she was interrupted by Danielson.
Yeah, that was by far the best Dolphin opportunity. Here's another one.
And this is Nugent, who won initial control and then deflecting off of the leg of Maddie Shear. Danielson's able to converge on the loose ball.
Yeah, nice quick defensive recovery that time by the Violets. And on the play before, Dave, a through ball going through to Zerpolo, but unfortunately she was about a step or so shy from being able to reach it.
Yeah, and this will be Wraith whose pass is interrupted at first. And now a threading ball up the middle, interrupted by Aparicio. She spills it back over to NYU's side of the field. Herbert's working with her back towards goal, dumps it off in the midfield. Skied up in the air. Bornstad gets a boot on it. This is Wraith now controlling. She backs it up to Ho. Back on the back line. Getting a touch on it was Delaney, who had checked into the game for NYU. Ho makes a play, gets it over to the right side. And now working one-on-one there is Isabel Turner, the goal scorer. Working one-on-one against DeLoya. Now we'll have some substitutions checking in on the throw-in for NYU. Coming in will be Olivia Brander-Carr for NYU, and it will be Nermina Bracic.
And Nermina actually started the game on Saturday, Joe, as we have an opportunity to get a look at a replay of the Dolphin opportunity. And Zerpolo, oh so tantalizingly close, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a nice entry pass, and unfortunately Zerpolo was not able to get to it in time, but she wasn't trailing by much, as that one could have gotten CSI easily back into this one, and their chances have been tempered, Mike, but they're starting now to build up a little bit of opportunities, of course, with a lot of NYU reserves having come into the game as well.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins need to really make sure they keep the ball out of the penalty area. Here's another near opportunity.
Yep, loose ball once again won by the Dolphins. Bornstad able to put some body on the attack. NYU has to back things up. Steph Ho, one of the seniors on this team, able to control. She plays it back to Shear. Shear to Delaney. Delaney now to Herberts. Herberts looking in reverse and unsuccessful at first, but still working hard against Zerpolo, and she's going to get called for the foul. Charlotte Herberts does not like it. She is a senior defender from Bradentown, Florida.
It wasn't an overly physical foul, Dave, but the whistle blown, and it'll just result in a free kick for the Dolphins.
In case you joined us late, both goals by Isabel Turner, 2-0 in favor of NYU here in the first half. We have 17 minutes to play in the first. A lot of reserves have spilled into the game on this warm and muggy afternoon, especially when the sun is out here. Almost brutal conditions for late September anyway. Bracic will control. She plays it up to Zerpolo, who's had a couple of chances. Zerpolo threading the middle of the field to Nugent. Nugent at first had to catch up to it, but a nice dispossessed there by Howard. Nugent able to get it back, was looking to play 1v1 and getting it over. And we are going to have a foul from just beyond the box, and CSI is going to have a golden opportunity here, Mike, from about 20 yards away. Natalia Sandor in the neighborhood to take it.
And a huge opportunity here, Dave. Still plenty of time remaining in the first half, and it looks like 4 players are going to be in the wall here for the Violets, along with Kiki Nugent.
So Sandor spots up, puts one looking far post, and it's chested down near play and just wide.
Golden opportunity there for the Dolphins, Dave. One they really needed, and plenty of room in the goal as the ball got behind the keeper for the Violets, but the Dolphins can't tuck it in. And it ends up being a free kick here for the Violets.
Yeah, it was a bending ball, Mike, that did find the CSI attack from in close. It was just chested down, so not a real attempt towards goal except via the body, but that wasn't wide by much.
Yeah, and, once again, an opportunity for the Dolphins, and one that they once again came very close, but couldn't get the final touch they needed to get on the board.
NYU is getting set to bring more substitutions into the game as that one is dumped into the offensive zone, and now giving chase, and with a little bit of real estate in front of her was Bianco, but Di Benedetto did not think twice. She came right off of her goal line, made the play before Bianco could get there.
Yeah, and Bianco Bianco going in at full speed, Dave, and another goal here on the play.
Yeah, absolutely. On the quick reset, it was punched in, and the Dolphins have themselves now down 3-0 on a goal which has left the Dolphins absolutely shell-shocked as they pretty much just punted it over. NYU could get their subs in the game at this point. And And we'll get another look at that, a better look at that via the replay in just a couple of moments. As I got to be honest, Mike, I was looking down to see who's coming into the game for NYU. Figure everything is all set. DiBenedetto's about to punt it out of her box, and NYU on the quick reset finds nobody home in the on CSI's end, and that's it. And here's the replay as it comes middle of the field, dispossessed and just rainbowed into the box. Julia Wraith gets credit for the goal.
You know, Dave, we mentioned that the Dolphins have struggled with their free kicks from goal. And their throw-ins deep in the penalty area. That time the ball played into midfield by DiBenedetto, a mistouch by a Dolphin in midfield, and then a strike towards goal. And just like that, it's a 3-0 game.
Yeah, and that's a nice job of the NYU players just, being responsive to those loose balls, those 50-50 balls. And, we hear Giuseppe Panetti saying it all the time here on the sideline, yelling about how the Dolphins need to do a better job in 50-50 opportunities. As here you get another look at it. Looked like Di Stefano might have been dispossessed, and there's the beautiful rainbow shot that finds its way in. And, one of the things you noticed, Mike, on that shot is you have 5 or 6 Dolphins just standing in place admiring the view. And just not a lot of motion going on here on a day like this when you're already down by 2, and now you're down by a mountain of a score, 3-0.
Yeah, that's a big, huge third goal late here in the first period, and really the kind of goal that, gives coaches gray hair. And, a free kick for the Dolphins should lead to a Dolphin possession, Dave. Instead, just a quick touch inside the Dolphin defensive area, a turnover, one touch and a goal, and it's pretty frustrating if you're head coach Giuseppe Panetti.
Yeah, and again, in a day like this where now the score is could get it potentially out of hand. If you're the Dolphins, you're looking for something, anything that you can hang your hat on here in the first half, something that you can go into halftime and say, look, we're down, but we're not out. We're getting back into play, and that's exactly what the Dolphins are going to have to look to try and do, especially with almost a completely new team out there for NYU. They've had a lot of substitutions here in this first half.
Yeah, and, Dave, the Dolphins were oh so close just a couple of minutes ago, and they couldn't tuck the ball into the open net, and NYU comes right back off a Dolphin turnover, and the Dolphins, like you say, Dave, a big mountain to climb, down 3-0.
Yep, and here comes NYU again with some open space, threading the ball through the middle. NYU letting it go out of play. Brander Carr had the longest run on that ball. That one put on the sideline to Herberts. Spilled out by Bornstad. Back on NYU's side of the field. Again, quick passes to the plus and minus side of the field, and Nugent able to spring Sandor with a little bit of open space, but not enough white jerseys there, as it's just 2 up top with Sandor and Nugent for the Dolphins. Here's NYU with some real estate. And sent right back on the plus side of the field for the Dolphins. First touch there was by Dimitrakis.
And you got to give the Violets a lot of credit, Dave. I don't think the Dolphins have ever strung together 4 consecutive passes here in the entire first half, and it's been very rare that they've been able to string 2 together.
Yeah, Dimitrakis almost fell over the ball that time. CSI with an opportunity, but she was able to get up and come back in. Looks like CSI's 2 forwards up top, too, Mike, in Nugent and Sandor, really not making too many runs at this point, as that heat could be getting to them as well, as that one is skipped into the box as well. DiBenedetto was there, doesn't have to move much on the shot that time by Spagnola.
Yeah, so another opportunity, DiBenedetto there to make the save on that one. As the clock continues to roll, we approach 11 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, so we've played 34. NYU with a 6-1 edge, 7-1 edge in shots on goal. They had 4 early corner kicks, one of them resulting in their first goal, and it's been all Violets from there. Dolphins with 1 quality or 2 quality chances, but NYU able to break up both plays. Now on the defensive side of the ball, the Dolphins will have themselves a throw-in. Bracic will get a running start here. babies one over to Zerpolo. Back over to Bracic, now played towards the middle of the field. Mulligan from her defensive zone rushes up to play it. Pass was intended for Nugent, broken up, and here comes a spring down the other way. Herbert's with speed, working against Aparicio, but Aparicio promptly seeing the rush, spills it out of bounds.
Yeah, and that time it was Aparicio back there with Mulligan against just one Violet player, but Aparicio chose to take the conservative approach and knock the ball out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Violets deep inside Dolphin territory.
And it will be number 15, Casey Delaney, to get the throw-in. Played near the corner flag. That one played into the box, skipping over the defense, and now a scramble in front. A lot of jerseys there, and DiBenedetto finally able to converge on one as that ball, Mike, was ping-ponging around the goal mouth.
Yeah, that time it went off at 2 Dolphin defenders before DiBenedetto was able to corral it. The last one, I believe, was DeLoya, and here come the Dolphins.
Nugent springs away from one defender. Now Nugent tries to punch one towards goal. It does go way wide, but a good individual effort by Kiki Nugent as she was able to shake off Maddie Shear on the play.
Yeah, that time Nugent got herself a little bit of real estate and tried to give the Dolphins an opportunity with a shot towards goal. Unfortunately, the ball will go wide, so it'll be a free kick now for NYU.
Inside of 10 minutes to play in the first half, and Dolphins will bring in Diana Estrada, junior defender from Staten Island. And it looks like number 19, Diana Ocapina, will get set to come in for the Dolphins as well on their next available substitution. Meanwhile, NYU plays it on their back line. Interrupting the play was Bornstad, who punches it deeper into the zone. NYU with some space now able to play. Dimitrakis had a first touch. Now it's Brander Carr dropping off for Bianco. NYU playing it back. Very smart play at this time by NYU to just retain possession and play with the ball here in the final 10 minutes of a 3-0 game in which they are winning this one.
Yeah, complete domination, Dave, by the Violets right from the beginning of the game. And, I can't remember, Dave, the last time that the Dolphins have had so much possession against them in a half.
Yeah, absolutely. NYU, and really they've done it from their defense forward, Mike. It's all begun with their back four, really initializing play up the field in, again, 5- and 10-yard spurts. That's where NYU has had their strength, and their ability to move the ball from the negative to the positive side of the field has been pretty good. Brander Carr had been working there on the sideline. Last touch by the Dolphins, so Violets will get the throw-in, and they once again play it promptly back up the field, skied straight up in the air. Herbert's in the neighborhood. The Dolphins able to spill it back out on Bornstad. Again, a lot of black jerseys back there. Delaney gets a touch, spreading it around her defensive line. Howard plays it up. 50-50 ball won initially by the Dolphins. Now Sandor able to play, working one-on-one against Fazio, and NYU is able to bring it up the field. 2 Dolphins there to meet with Brander Carr. They win the initial battle, and here goes CSI up their side of the field. Hunter looking to spring away from one defender, cannot do so. NYU controls.
Yeah, NYU pressuring the Dolphins in the defensive side of the field, and Dolphins continue to struggle to find a way to move up the field as a unit.
Yeah, and at this point, Mike, in the first half as well, just not a lot of space here for the Dolphins. And again, not a lot of spirited runs up the field, although here comes CSI and Bracic with some space. She has to retreat backwards, finds Bornstad, who had a lot of time, puts one over to the NYU defense, and NYU able to control. They spill it right back into CSI's side of the field, but DiStefano plays it right back in. This is Zerpolo. She's working one-on-one against Delaney. Trying to buy some time for her attackers to join the fray. Zerpolo looking to skirt the goal line, cannot do so. And a nice defensive play by Callie Delaney.
Yeah, it was a nice defensive play by Delaney. She forced the Dolphins to take the ball into the corner, and then as Zappolo tried to run onto it before it went over the goal line, did a nice job using her body and drawing the free kick now for the Violets.
And so Diana Okapina will come into the game replacing Nermina Bracic. Okapina, an MVP at her Christ the King High School. He's a true freshman. As we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the first half, Dolphins down by a trio here, 3-0. 2 early goals by number 20, Isabel Turner, and then it was Julia Wraith adding goal number 3. Di Stefano back over to Mulligan. Mulligan sending one up the pitch. It's off the leg of Sandor, and NYU will have control. Once again up the field, 50-50. A lot of physical play there as battling was Brittany Bornstad and number 2, McKenna Spagnola. Bornstad able to win that one, and there's been a bright spot for the Dolphins, Mike, here through the first 3 weeks of the season. Brittany Bornstad has been exceptional.
Yeah, she really has been, David. She's a very physical player. She played well in the game against Montclair State and played physically as well, and doing so here today.
Sandor tees one up near the box. It is allowed to bounce, and playing it on that bounce was Danielson.
Yeah, that was, I'm sorry, Dave, that was Lisbeth Aparicio charging in. She already has 3 goals off of corner kicks off of her head here this year, and that time about a step or so short. Danielson making the play again.
And now a foot race down on the right far side of the field. It was number 23, Teresa Fazio, battling against Deloya. As we're going to have a goal kick as that one goes beyond the goal line. Not a lot of people are going to win foot races against Rebecca Deloya. Saw that against Montclair State in a couple of rushes up the field when she lent herself to the attacking side of the field late in that game.
Yeah, Deloya very effective attacking from the back line position, Dave, and she's shown sparks of that.
Yeah, Giuseppe Panetti put her at the top when they were down 2-0 to Montclair and said, hey, if you could score 2 goals, I'll never make you play defense again. And she was taking him up on it for a while. Unfortunately, CSI could not register in that one, and they've been kept off the score sheet in this one. This is Sandor now looking for a late CSI rally in the half. A lot of space for Hunter. She elects to punch it up the field, interrupted by the NYU defense. And a through ball through the middle. No one home for the Dolphins. Danielson sends it promptly right back up the field. Spagnola threading it up, but this will be CSI's ball as that one found no one.
You know, Dave, the Dolphins just haven't been able to get a sustained, coordinated attack through the midfield and into the offensive zone. And, you know, you could see that where they'll come down and there'll be 3 or 4 players attacking offensively. But, you know, that's really been the most, other than the corner kick and the set pieces, that the Dolphins have been able to get in the attacking zone.
And because the Dolphins have been pressured on nearly every 50-50 ball, that time Ashley Hunter really had no one around her, but she immediately elected to get rid of the ball because you just begin to sense that pressure like a quarterback in a pocket that's deteriorating in football, Mike. It's just that sense of something's going to converge on me. I got to get rid of this ball. But Hunter did have a lot of time to play that. So we're at 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. That is official time, and NYU sending it over to the CSI side of the field. And there was Fazio. Fazio tried to play it towards the middle of the field. Brander Carr gets to it. Carr working one-on-one against Aparicio is able to send one through the top of the box. And now Deloya able to spill it out after CSI interrupts play. At the top, Dimitrakis looking for the box. Okapina gets a head on it, is able to play it to the top end of the box. Deloya now playing it over to Hunter. Hunter plays it towards the middle of the field. Bornstead is there, and she gets taken down. That'll be another whistle against NYU as we approach 1 minute remaining in the first.
And that's the second foul that Bornstead has drawn here in the last couple of minutes. The last one resulting in an opportunity to put the ball towards goal. This one will result in a free kick.
Perhaps a last gasp here for the Dolphins before halftime as we approach 1 minute to go here. Estrada across the field.
1 minute remaining in the first half, 1 minute.
50-50 ball once again. Sandor wins the battle Okapina with a little bit of space, sends over to Sandor. Sandor sees it skip off her back heel and out of play. NYU with a quick reset. Herbert's looking to turn upfield. Did a nice job against DiStefano, but there to back her up was Catherine Mulligan, the reigning CUNY Defender of the Year. We have about a half minute remaining here in the first. Dimitrakis playing it up to Spagnola. Spagnola was looking for Herbert's, interrupted by Okapina. This is Zerpolo. Zerpolo looking to work the sideline. She's taken off of the ball by Delaney, and here comes NYU. Once again, midfield. Bornstad's able to get a toe on it. And now a lot of real estate there on the far side of the field as we have 10 seconds remaining. Perhaps chance for one last cross for NYU. Still with the ball. And now at the top of the box, Dimitrakis, a quick liner towards goal, well wide. And that will be the end of the first half. NYU controlling possession, getting a good attempt late. And at the end of one half of play, it's 3-0 in favor of the Violets.
Yeah, so a nice end of that first half there for the Violets, resulting in a shot over the top. And the Dolphins will go into halftime trailing by a score 3-0, Dave, in a game that NYU really has been able to dominate possession-wise here this afternoon.
All right, and both teams have agreed to take an extended halftime, 15 minutes now between halves. So what Mike and I will do is we will take a break, step aside. When we come back, we'll break down the first half, look at some halftime stats. It's all coming up next during halftime here at the CSI Soccer Complex. It's NYU 3 and Staten Island nothing at the end of 45. Stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. the ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back here to the CSI Soccer Complex. The CSI Dolphins down by 3 to NYU. Goals in the 5th, 16th, and 29th minute of the first half is the difference. The first two by Isabel Turner and the last by Julia Wraith. And Mike, the Dolphins outplayed in the first half without a doubt. But even more than outplayed, simply outpossessed.
Yeah, they were really outpossessed in a way that, like I mentioned during the broadcast, I really can't remember a team possessing the ball so much against the Dolphins in quite some time. And, you look at the first half stats, and they're actually misleading, Dave, because the shots are only 8-3 in favor of NYU, but that comes nowhere near describing the edge that NYU has had in play so far. And, you got to give the Violets a lot of credit. They've come in here. They've played a very good schedule so far this year, and they came out here this afternoon against the Dolphins and really took control of this game with that goal in the 6th minute, Dave, to give them a 1-0 lead. And then that big goal in the 30th minute by Julia Wraith off of the Dolphin turnover, off of the free kick, really a backbreaker in the first half and really putting the Dolphins behind the 8 ball as they trail 3-0.
Yeah, and Mike mentioned the shot count. Let's take a look at the statistics in this first half. Mike, the Dolphins outshot 8-3. The shots on goal 7-1 in that first half. Obviously, you look at the saves by Di Benedetto for the Dolphins. She's made 4, and NYU with the 4 corners. And Mike, those 4 corners came very early in the first half. I would say all within the first 10 minutes, and it really set the pace for the game. And of course, obviously, NYU scored on the corner kick. I believe it was their 3rd one of the game. At 5:21, Alex Benedict teed it up for Isabel Turner, who popped it right in, and that really set the tone for the rest of the half. NYU was able to kind of play from their defense forward, and it generated a lot of opportunities. It made Di Benedetto work in goal, and really NYU, they were threatened once or twice with a couple of flurries in their end, but really the sustained pressure has belonged completely to the Violets.
Yeah, and there's just been no midfield for the Dolphins here this afternoon, Dave. They're either attacking up front or they have everybody back and trying to defend. And, you got to keep the field balanced, and you got to be able to work the ball up with short passes against a good soccer team. And, like I said, you got to give the Violets a lot of credit. They put a lot of pressure on the Dolphins, Dave, but I think you could count on one hand the number of times the Dolphins put more than 3 passes together in that first half.
Yeah, and a lot of that midfield play and the lack thereof for the Dolphins is because of that NYU pressure that they really have been able to sustain in the midfield. We've seen NYU players with a good 3 to 5 yards of space in the midfield, but whenever the Dolphins have approached the midfield stripe, there's always 1 and 2 defenders there for NYU, and it's led to some rushed flurries up the field as well for the Dolphins. So that's something that head coach Giuseppe Panetti is going to be keying on in the second half. Mike, in a game like this, you put yourself in Giuseppe Panetti's shoes. What are you telling your team to try and generate some offense here in the second? Maybe not win the game, but put a little bit more pressure.
Well, one of the good things I thought the Dolphins did in the game against Montclair State was that they gave up 2 late goals in the first half, but that was all they allowed for the remainder of the game. And if you're the Dolphins, I think the most important thing is to keep the score respectable and not to give up that 4th goal. Then from there, you build your way out and hopefully try to get a little bit more of a sustained offensive attack here and really try to see if you could do a little bit better with sustainable possession passes. And that's, like we mentioned, Dave, something the Dolphins just haven't been able to do in the first half. A lot of that, of course, the result of the pressure by the NYU Violets. And, you mentioned during the pregame show, Dave, that for the Dolphins, Stephanie LaPointe not in the lineup here for CSI this afternoon, and she certainly is one of their most effective leaders. And, the combination of her and Lauren Smith have really been the 2 most effective midfield players for the Dolphins here so far in 2017.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Dolphins are going to have to find that offense elsewhere in the lineup. And, of course, on a day, Mike, where both teams have used a lot of players. We mentioned the heat. When you're out there on the field itself, it kind of absorbs the heat and sends it back up to the players. So it's 85 here. There's very minimal wind. When the sun is not out, it's pleasant and enjoyable. But when that sun is beating down on you, is beating down on you hard, there's nowhere to escape here on this field. So, really when we talk about spirited runs up the field, trying to generate offense, it's so much harder, Mike, when you're trying to make runs in 90-degree heat and it feels more like 95.
Yeah, this is the kind of game, Dave, the kind of weather that we might see during the opening tournaments that we have here at the College of Staten Island. Certainly not something we expect to see a couple of days before October, but the weather's been really hot here the last week, and the players have had to adapt to those conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to hear me complain much, Mike, especially when we have to broadcast in the outdoors. This is perfectly fine for us, but it does take its toll on the players, and we noticed that in the first half as well, just looking at some of the players that have come in. NYU used 8 substitutions in that first half. The Dolphins used 7 substitutions in that half. So, you do the math. The Dolphins, 18 players have played already. NYU just a little bit more than that. So we've seen a lot of the bench in that first half. And, of course, that's only being able to substitute once in the first half. There's no re-entry. In the second half, you are allowed to re-enter, so you'll probably due to see a lot more substituting in the second half as well.
Yeah, Dave, especially, if you're NYU, you're leading by 3 goals. The Dolphins trailing by 3 goals. You're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize any of your players for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, and just with the eyeball test, Mike, it looks like most of the starters for both teams have returned to the field. The one notable change for the Dolphins, though, Mike, is in goal. It is Mariah Jones who's going to start the second 45 for the Dolphins. So Kayla DiBenedetto, barring something catastrophic, her day is done. 45 minutes in the book. She made 4 saves in that first half. A respectable first half for Kayla. And now it's Mariah Jones in goal for the Dolphins.
Yeah, a couple of freshman goaltenders for the Dolphins, a couple of goaltenders that head coach Giuseppe Panetti has confidence in. So Jones will get an opportunity to show what she could do here in the second half.
So we're on the way, and the Dolphins have made it a point now to dump that ball deep into NYU territory twice. NYU will play it on their defensive line, but the Dolphins, as you can see, very quick to give chase. NYU playing it up the sideline, having some trouble there as Caitlin Russo is able to converge on the defense, and Dolphins not letting NYU escape their defensive zone. Nice job here in the early stages.
Yeah, that was probably the best pressure the Dolphins put on the Violet defense here this afternoon.
And on the throw-in, NYU able to get it back. It's Wraith, but her pass over to Turner was incomplete, and so the Dolphins will have a throw-in. Rebecca DeLoya will do the honor. She's aiming down the line and off of the Dolphins and out of play. Tough vantage point for us here as the entire NYU bench is standing right in our line of sight.
Yeah, that time Deloya throwing it in, Dave, and goes right off the Dolphins out of bounds. So Dolphins give possession away, but now Aparicio gets it back.
And so here is Russo. Russo controlling, drops off to Sandor. Sandor looking middle of the field. Lawrence Smith with a quick touch, but all it finds is NYU players. This is Love working against DiStefano, but it's Deloya who gets there first. Dumps it back into NYU territory, and NYU now wants to reverse field. Far side, Ogawa, who came out midway through the first half, played it back into CSI zone, and Mulligan's there to dump it out near the midfield line, played right back up to Love. DiStefano had a touch on Love. Love able to regroup, send it back to Wraith. Wraith to Ogawa. Ogawa able to pinpoint Wraith again. Wraith able to turn towards goal. Looks to dribble in, and once again CSI dumps out. Ooh, a tough play right between the shoulder blades. That was Howard against Sandor.
And so a nice play by Mignon to force the turnover. Then Sandor gets the foul. So a free kick for the Dolphins at midfield. And Dolphins are going to try to put the ball toward the penalty area for the Violets.
And here we go. It's Perello from just inside her own end of the 50. Line drive to Deloya. Deloya was looking up front, drops it off to Smith. Smith to Mignon. Mignon reverses it now to Perello. Perello has to retreat. She does to Mulligan. Mulligan with Love bearing down. Dropped off to DiStefano. Turnover for the Dolphins. Now at midfield, it's Love.
And the Dolphins, Dave, have done a nice job here through the first 3.5 minutes, really putting together many more passes than they did in the first half, and now a big foul called on the Violets that should lead to a scoring opportunity and could lead to a yellow card.
Yeah, another foul on Maddie Howard, and she was not happy after that whistle blew, and she kind of thundered that ball into the ground, and but she will not get a booking, nor will she get spoken to, but it will be Sandor who was spilled, got up pretty immediately, and maybe now a card will be issued to Howard, maybe on the reaction, Mike, even more than the foul.
Yeah, you know, I think that the referee wasn't sure whether he wanted to go with the yellow or not, Dave, and went over and spoke to the linesman and came back and then booked the player.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see that kind of developing, and you know that time the official does the right thing. He consulted with the lines judge, and now the Dolphins with a big opportunity here.
10 yards! Susan! Crash the box!
1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys in the box now, with Mignon coming in as well. Mignon really the only one running around like crazy in that box, being marked up nicely, but this will be Sandor. Sandor teardrops it over the wall, but first team there is NYU. They spill it out of bounds, and the Dolphins have their second corner of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that time for the CSI Dolphins, Dave, Nicole Mignon was right there looking to get a head on the ball, forcing the Violets to knock the ball out of bounds. And, you know, Dave, this has been by far the best 5 minutes for the Dolphins here this afternoon.
And the Dolphins with only one defender deep. That's Mulligan. Everybody else up front with the attack. This will be Sandor via the right foot. That one sent near post, scrambled on the ground. Able to get to it is Deloya, but she has to retreat to Perello. Perello now turning to the defense, and NYU is able to drop it up over the CSI attacking line. They play it out to midfield. Having to retreat once again is Perello.
Yeah, that was another big opportunity there for the Dolphins. Once again, it was Mignon, the first player to get her foot on the ball for the Dolphins, but the Violets able to knock it away and prevent an opportunity at goal.
Yeah, and that corner kick skipped off of a couple of heads in the box, maybe one or two of CSI's own as well. But it's NYU now controlling around midfield. Sharon Lee retreats, plays it back to Howard. Howard back to Lee, Lee to Howard. This is where NYU has had success, 5 and 10 yards passing, but it's intercepted by Sandor. Sandor loses it in her own feet, and NYU able to control. They play it up top to Love, and now Wraith. Ho plays it over to the left side where NYU looks to begin their attack. They play it up the middle of the pitch to Love. Love chefs gets away from DiStefano and kind of skips it forward too strong, and Mariah Jones gets her first touch on the ball. That will not be a save, obviously, but puts her in motion. That's the one thing to really note about Mariah Jones, Mike, that we've seen in the early stages is that she's very active in goal. She does like to come out of her goal mouth, and she does like to stay busy. Yeah, she's very aggressive at coming after balls that are drifting around the penalty area, and pretty effective punting the ball as well. And for these plays for both De Benedetto and Jones, big difference between high school and college as they're getting a first-hand look at right now. Lauren Smith is guilty of a foul deep in the attacking zone for NYU. So now NYU will have themselves a nice set-piece opportunity. Sharon Lee spots it up. Now she yields to number 14, Nolani Agawa. Two-person wall for the Dolphins. It's Russo and Mignon. And that one is skied over them. Mariah Jones springs back, loose ball, top of the box. DiStefano plays it out. And now Russo with a lot of real estate ahead of her. She's able to survey the field, drops off to Mignon. Mignon back up, and a nice little back heel for Sandor, but a little too far for Caitlin Russo. Yeah, the Dolphins tried to get a counterattack going quickly that time, but unfortunately the pass just out of bounds. CSI with a good rush up the field, though, generated all the way deep in their own zone. Smith drops off to DiStefano. DiStefano did not realize that Love was shadowing her. She loses possession. Fazio controls at first. Wraith back over to Fazio. Fazio to Lee. Lee is able to scan the field. Tried to get it up top to Love, but intercepting there were the Dolphins. And now Perello with a little ground in front of her. She's able to survey. Look straight up the field to Sandor. A nice ball to her. Sandor is able to go laterally, but not much else as NYU controls midfield. This is Wraith. Wraith looking for a streaking Turner. Turner drops off to Love. Love back towards goal. Drops off to Lee. Lee with a little green in front. Sheds Russo. Here comes Lee dropping off top of the box. Strong first touch there for NYU, and Deloya now has it. She looks middle of the field, interrupted by Lee, but out of play. Yeah, Dolphins continue to play very well here in the second half. They're much more organized, much more disciplined, getting a lot more of the short passing game going, and, you can see it out on the field. Aracena now controls, is able to get it from the defensive zone to the offensive zone, but backs it up to Perello. Perello looking middle of the field to DiStefano. Strong first touch for Brianna. Losing it to the defense. Ogawa had it briefly. Dropping it back off. Ho reverses field to Lee. Lee looking sideline to Turner. Turner with two early goals in the 5th and 16th minute. NYU's first 2 goals of 3 in the first half. We're 11 minutes in here into the second half. Still 3-0 in favor of NYU. This is Turner, top of the box. Mulligan there to interrupt. She gets it over to Russo. Russo in a battle with Turner. Ball skips over now to Smith. Smith to Mignon. Mignon back to Smith. Smith back towards goal. Drops off to Sandor. Sandor working laterally. Sheds one defender. Working one-on-one against Turner. Still finding the sideline. Nice little chip pass over to Russo. Skipped too far ahead of Russo. And now we have Ogawa. Ogawa now controls, gets away from Aracena and sends it over to the sideline. Here comes NYU now. Denied midfield is Love, but NYU still controls. Ho over to Lee. Lee on the near side now to Turner. Middle of the field to Wraith. NYU's 3rd goal scorer. Ho in the midfield. She gets it across now to Ogawa. Ogawa, one of the bigger playmakers on this NYU Violets team, looking to shed one defender, can't do so. Aracena wins that battle, drops off to the defense, and it's kicked back over into NYU's side of the field. Sandor has done a lot of running here in these first 10-plus minutes of the second half. CSI losing possession. No substitutes yet for either team in the second. On a warm and muggy day, the wind picking up just a little bit, blowing east to west here.
You're right, Dave. Sando all over the field here in the second half for the Dolphins. A couple of very strong individual efforts here in the second half.
And the Dolphins putting a lot of numbers in the midfield, Mike, you know, kind of, playing into what you said at halftime, that the Dolphins really haven't owned the midfield in this one at all. So heavy numbers in that midfield to win those 50-50 balls, but it comes at the expense of only being able to bring one or two up. And now a misplay via the head for Aparicio and a quick shot that tests Jones in net. And Jones is on the register with her first save on another quick shot by Wraith. She was able to catch the Dolphins napping in the first half and scored NYU's third goal, not that time as Jones denies her.
Yeah, and that ball just over the head of Lisbeth Aparicio, generously listed in your program at 5'1" tall. And nice play that time and a good save, and the Dolphins able to come back on the counterattack.
And as you just saw on your screen, that was NYU's 8th shot on goal and the first shot on goal for either team here in this second half. We're 13 minutes in. Danielson with her first touch via the hands in this second half. And that pass way too long there. And CSI will have possession as it was intended for Fazio. Deloya will have the throw. Gets a good surveying of the field, elects to play the sidelines. Russo spinning around with it. Mignon is challenging Turner. We'll have a substitution checking in for NYU as Olivia Brander-Carr will return. And it looks like she'll come in for Krogowski. And it will be number 10, Alex Benedict, who started the game, now comes in as a reserve here in half number 2. She will replace Markel Love. Dolphins will get a couple of subs in of their own on the next possession, as this is Sandor. Sandor working 1 against 3 here, is able to chip one over to the sideline to Russo, and Russo sees it go out of bounds. That's a really, really nice attempt there by Sandor to split 3 defenders and get one to the sideline. A little too strong for Russo.
Yeah, and that's a couple of times in a row here, Dave, that Sandor really has made some very strong individual efforts. Let's see if the Dolphins can keep the Violets pinned in on the throw-in.
CSI able to get possession back as Deloya was able to head down that throw-in, but the Dolphins quickly relinquish possession. Ho gets it over to the defense, and Maddie Shear with one of her rare touches of this half. Shear gets it back again here, center of the midfield. NYU playing it back and forth, a little sloppy there, and a couple of errant passes by the Violets, but they've been given a lot of space here as Lee gets it over to Ho. Benedict playing it over, tried to get it inside the CSI attacking zone, but Aracena was there at first, but she's dispossessed. And here comes Benedict now. Her first touches of the second half. That pass intercepted by Deloya. She's looking for Smith. Smith has to play it backwards, does to Perello. Perello was looking for Di Stefano. She's dispossessed, and here comes Benedict the other way. CSI just given no room in the midfield, Mike. Every pass sees a black shirt shadowing one of the white shirts.
Yeah, you know, they're coming up and they're pressing against the Dolphins in the midfield, and they've been very effective doing that here all afternoon.
Yeah, so it's no small wonder that when CSI does get possession, they're constantly just kicking it up the field because there's just nothing else to do. And NYU's done a good job of not letting CSI turn with the ball. And now a throw in deep here. Sharon Lee will do the honors, looking corner of the box to Benedict, and it's off the CSI defense and out of play once more. Another throw in for Lee. Line drive. Looking for teammate. Once again spilled out of bounds. Now NYU works near the corner flag. Very quick resets as Benedict is able to tap down right near the goal line. It'll be a goal kick as that clearance attempt by CSI went off of Benedict, and we will have substitutions for CSI. It'll be Ashley Hunter and Brittany Bornstad getting set to come in. Russo out, DiStefano out.
So a couple of substitutions here for the Dolphins, a couple of more of the physical players for the Dolphins, and we'll see how they can do here in the last 28 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes into the second half. Dolphins down by 3. Howard is able to play it. Once again, NYU using their defensive line to start the rush up the field. It's Lee getting it over to Turner. Turner off the back of one of the CSI defenders. Lauren Smith gets to it first, and this is Hunter. Hunter splits 2 defenders. She's spilled, and a foul whistled against NYU.
Yeah, that was the back of the head of Rebecca DeLoya that took that NYU pass and knocked it away, and now the Dolphins will have the free kick opportunity just on their defensive side of the field, as both teams will substitute at the next opportunity.
Before that, though, free kick here by Aparicio. It's a line drive off the head of the NYU defense. Mignon finally gets to it. Wraith is able to get it towards the sideline. Ashley Hunter is there battling, but it's NYU coming up with it. This is Wraith looking sideline in the direction of Benedict. And Aparicio looked to clear it out off of Benedict. It's still in play. Corner of the box. Mulligan looking to help out Aparicio. Mission accomplished. That ball is spilled out. And we'll get some more substitutions. Number 12 for each team. Amy Elgin comes in for NYU, and Kiki Nugent entering the game for the Dolphins.
And, you know, Dave, while we have a minute, we should just mention that the men's soccer team, coming off having their 8-game winning streak broken by number 11 Rutgers Newark, here on Monday will be back in action. A big conference game against Baruch College. Both teams 3-0 in the conference, Dave. And, you know, it looks like the men's CUNYAC soccer conference this year is going to be wide open with a bunch of good teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, conference play is just only getting started. CSI, of course, wins over CCNY, York, and Medgar. But you know what, Mike? All 3 of those teams near the bottom of the standings. So CSI perhaps benefiting from a favorable early season schedule, as that shot was parried. Olivia Brander-Carr with the attempt, and easily handled by Mariah Jones. But yeah, Mike, so maybe the Dolphins benefiting a little bit from a softer top half of the schedule, but now comes the real meat of the conference schedule, and it starts with Baruch right at the top of the table with the Dolphins, and always one of CSI's heaviest rivals.
Yeah, you know, rivalry going way back, and it should be a very tough game. Field 10 tonight at Randall's Island, 6 p.m. start, and doesn't get any easier, Dave, Saturday afternoon at Brooklyn College.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be another one that's been highlighted on the calendar, so the Dolphins with some huge games coming up right around the time this game ends. The CSI men's soccer team will be in action. That one sent in the box, a sprawling Jones who's spilled to the turf, and it'll be a foul whistled against NYU. It was a 50-50 ball, no harm intended there on either side, but Jones gets the right of way. The clock, it will stop with 25:04 remaining, and I believe that's Turner, Mike, that's in the box, the 2-goal scorer. No, it's Ho who got spilled.
Yeah, another aggressive play that time by Jones. She didn't hesitate. She came out and made a play on the ball. And, you know, Dave, almost always if there's contact between the goalie and an offensive player, the foul will be on the offensive player.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see Steph Ho, the senior, kind of get up under her own power, being tended to by the medical staff here at NYU, who've made the trip, obviously. But obviously the clock will still stop, and I believe Ho will have to come out of the game at least temporarily unless she's substituted out, but NYU doesn't show any potential substitutions coming into the game. And I'm surprised if they let Steph Ho stay in the game, and looks like she will, which is really not customary, Mike, when the training staff has to visit the field, especially how Ho went down kind of head first in the box. You would think that the logical thing to do would be to come off, and it looks like she is. So she's gotten a talking to from the official. She'll have to step out at least temporarily again until she's waved in. Sorry,
I'm sorry, Dave, and she's another Violet player that's played very well. They've played a very sound game, Dave, and, you know, have done a very solid job here this afternoon. They scored, took the lead early in the game, opened up a 3-0 lead, and, really haven't been in any jeopardy. The Dolphins doing a nice job defensively here in the second half, thwarting the NYU attack and continuing to press forward offensively.
Dimitrakis is the NYU player who came into the game, number 25, the freshman coming in to replace the senior. Meanwhile, CSI, of course, looking to muster some sort of an attack. They finished the first half with 1 shot on goal. They remain affixed there. Down 3-0. And this is Sandor now. Sandor with a little bit of space, trying to drop off to Nugent. Nugent stationary on the play. Didn't get to the ball that time. And NYU able to pick up possession. Sharon Lee. Lee with some space and time. Drops off to Elgin. Elgin shifting away from Hunter on the play. Pass was errant to Dimitrakis, and now it's Bornstad. Bornstad with a little bit of space. Opts to go laterally. CSI continues to play, but Aracena losing it. Too many black socks there that time, trying to get it through.
Ashley, go to the ball. Ashley Hart.
Here comes NYU once again. Elgin with a quick touch. Dimitrakis being fronted by Aracena. Ogawa now controlling. A rare long ball attempt over the defensive line of CSI. Nobody home there for the Violets, as it'll be Aracena. It will be Aparicio able to survey the field and send it over. Play continues to go back and forth. And it will be Elgin playing it middle of the field. And now a rush up, and now springing loose is Benedict. Benedict with a quick shot, and a laser is parried down by Jones, and she's able to catch up to it and make the save.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play that time by Jones, making the save on the shot, and a beautiful attacking play by Benedict. The Dolphins have done a pretty good job on the NYU leading goal scorer coming into today's game, but that time she was able to use her body, get inside the Dolphin defense, and blast one on goal. Nice save by Jones once again.
First look at number 9, Lila Keltz, who's come into the game for NYU. Number 9, she replaced number 5, Julia Wraith, the goal scorers. We get another look at that blazing shot that time for Benedict, and a nice save for Jones. Probably the best save of the game for either side here in this one. It belongs to Jones, and a good job of not allowing a second chance opportunity as well.
Yeah, 10th shot on goal credited for the Violets here this afternoon.
Bornstad turning towards goal, looking for a long ball. Far side of the field, way too heavy for Aracena. Rather than letting it go out of play, Danielson will play it and now pick it up and force the Dolphins to retreat. Just under 22 minutes remaining in this one. NYU in control. They're up 3-0. All 3 goals in the first half, the first 2 in the first 16 minutes, both by Isabel Turner. This is Lee. Lee sends it up the field, middle of the field, to Benedict, who was going right. The ball came left of her. CSI able to corral it in from there. It's Perello. Perello working far sideline, playing pitch and catch with Aracena. Sent up the field. This is Howard, physical defender. Howard has played well, but she is playing with a yellow card. Lee up the field. Bounces around. Sandor able to get back and control. Sandor has played a very good second half for the Dolphins. This is DeLoya. Up the field to Hunter. Hunter stymied, a foul by Elgin, and the Dolphins will have a free kick.
Yeah, I think, Dave, this is the second game in a row where Sandor has been one of the best Dolphin players out on the field. She played a good game against Montclair State University on Saturday and has been probably the best Dolphin player here this afternoon, Dave.
Absolutely, and Natalia Sandor, obviously her physical accomplishments go hand in hand with her academics. Mike, she's a Macaulay Honors student, one of the finest on campus, and one thing about Natalia, she takes everything pretty seriously, her studies and her play, and it really is paying off all the hard work. Nice move by Elgin to split the CSI defense, and NYU able to spring up from there. Perello able to get some leg on it, spill it up the field, but it's NYU once again with control. Brander Carr had it, and now we're going to have a foul whistled. It'll be against Carr.
Yeah, that time Carr got tied up with Mulligan, and Carr will draw the foul. So a free kick here for the Dolphins.
NYU's getting set to bring in some more substitutions upon their next opportunity. Another foul here on NYU, and that's kind of been one-sided throughout the day as well.
Yeah, and that's the third foul that Brittany Borstad has drawn this afternoon, Dave, in limited action.
It's the one statistical category that the Dolphins are well ahead in. 14 fouls for NYU, 4 for Staten Island. And CSI in 15-yard chunks starting to work up the field here.
Next sub, please. Next sub. Yeah, for Kiki.
And that one about the top of the box there. Too many black jerseys there. NYU controls. Benedict not able to turn towards goal. Nugent drops off for Sandor. Just not a lot of teammates up the field for Sandor to survey. There's really nobody except Nugent in front of her. And so NYU will control with Brander Carr. She's being fronted, but is able to head it back on the back line. NYU continues to control. They play it backwards, and Danielson on the hop has to play it. Smith and Hunter attacking the defenders. Dimitrakis able to get it to Elgin. Fazio working one-on-one against the defense. All near side here is Elgin. A nice drop-off here to Benedict. And that one is put in the box, and Jones promptly comes off of her line and makes the play.
Yeah, Jones aggressive once again, coming out, making a nice play. Nobody home for the Violets on the play, so Jones will punt the ball out as the clock continues to wind down.
Jones gets it right at the midfield stripe. 50-50 ball there. The war is won by NYU as Nugent will get whistled for the foul. NYU resets here on the attack. Ogawa had a touch on it. Carr tried to get it up to the top of the box. Nugent is there for CSI at midfield, sees it skip off of her legs, and now Lauren Smith has it. Smith surveys up front, just not a lot of attacking personnel right now for the Dolphins. Even when they do get possession, Mike, in the midfield, just not a lot of options in front of the attack.
Yeah, you know, the Violets have done a great job on the Dolphins all afternoon, and on this hot day, the Dolphins just haven't been able to get much of an offensive attack going. I thought they came out and played very strong first 10 or 12 minutes of the first half and have done a much better job here in the second half, but really it's been a little bit of time, Dave, since their last scoring opportunity.
Zerpolo has come in for Nugent for the Dolphins, and NYU has gotten 3 substitutions in the game, including Jade Keene.
And also returning for the Violets, 24, Jade Keene.
Callie Delaney had also checked in, and I believe the other was Charlotte Herberts. Fresh legs coming in on this hot, sweltering day here at the CSI Soccer Complex. Temperatures got up to about the mid-80s, but the humidity was at an all-time high, and now the wind's starting to breeze, making it a little bit more manageable here at the soccer complex. Mike, we should give a shout out to the CSI women's volleyball team picking up their 3rd victory of the season last night. We had it on CSI Sportsnet, a big win over York, and positioned them back in the playoff race as they leapfrogged over a couple of other schools, including Lehman College, who fell to Hunter. So the Dolphins back right into the playoff mix under new coach Larry Eng. And it was good for them to win their first home victory of the season.
Yeah, you know, it was a big swing game for the Dolphins, Dave, and an opportunity to get to within a game of 500. So a big win and something hopefully they can continue to build on for the rest of the conference season.
This is Elgin for NYU, and she's spilled from behind by Rebecca Deloya. So now NYU in a place where they have been pretty dangerous all game long here, the set piece. I wonder if Benedict will take this one here like she does the corners. I don't believe she will here, as it will be Brander Carr who's ready to tee it up. The Dolphins are getting a 3-person wall together here. Aparicio, Hunter, and Zerpolo. It'll be Brander Carr, right-footed leg, bending ball right in front of the goal mouth. It's knocked down, but we're going to have a whistle and an offside call on NYU. That one, again, Mike, our handball was whistled against NYU. Thank you, Mike. And, again, it was one of those golden opportunities that on a ball that was able to skip in the box 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, you know, and that was a little bit of a unneeded foul that time by DeLoyer, although the NYU player was trying to turn into the center, and it led to a golden scoring opportunity as once again the Violets put the ball across to the far post, but in bringing the ball back into the center committed a handball violation.
We have a whistle here as a stoppage of play. It's NYU getting ready for the throw-in. NYU will control on the reset with the throw-in, as there was a little bit of miscommunication there. As the whistle had blown, not sure why. Play was allowed to continue unless it was, of course, for the welfare of Ashley Hunter, who was spilled right in front of us, Mike. And here is a cross in the middle, a one-hopper that Jones is able to play easily. 14 minutes to go here in regulation. Dolphins down by a bunch here, 3-0, could use just one.
And the Violets have been able to get a couple of their best offensive chances here in the second half in the last minute or so, Dave. So Dolphins need to tighten things up defensively and see if they can counterattack and look to produce that first goal of the game.
Yeah, remember the little subplot coming in is that NYU has not given up a goal now in 3+ games. This would be game number 4. And that one is promptly spilled right back over to midfield as CSI was looking to rush. Lead pass to Smith is too strong. Zerpolo is able to put some pressure on the defensive back line. Still going at it here. This is Howard getting it over to Shear. NYU going right to left. Now we're able to push it up the field. More bodies falling there, but Aracena controls for the Dolphins. Drops off to Smith. Sandor backing it up. Smith able to look up and survey. Finds Aracena. Aracena shanks that one out of bounds. Fanned on it just a tad. And up the field NYU goes. Zerpolo giving chase, trying to put some pressure on that back line. As both teams will bring in substitutions on the next whistle as well in the next out-of-bounds play. Keltz is able to place one in as we have a substitution for both teams. Nicole Mignon will return for the Dolphins, replacing Brittany Bornstad. Number 22, Brianna Di Stefano, comes in as well for the Dolphins, replacing Adriana Perello. And Sharon Lee checks back in for NYU. Good to see Lee return to the game after getting knocked down in the box earlier in this second half. I'm sure NYU fans are happy about that. And we have Smith controlling here at midfield. Backs up to Sandor. Give and go DeLoyer to Smith. Smith now able to look up and find Aracena. It skips off an NYU defender. It's heading towards the goal line, but a nice job by NYU to get back, and it will be maybe a corner here or a throw-in.
I think it's going to be a throw-in, Dave.
Yeah, at first the flag went straight down for the lines judge signaling a corner.
Great hustle play that time. I believe that was Maddie Shire, Dave, coming all the way back in a 3-0 game to hustle back defensively and prevent the corner kick. Nice defense that time by NYU.
Yeah, prevented a scoring chance for sure for the Dolphins, but they will have another throw-in here midway between the goal line and the midfield line. Mignon, who just checked into the game, gets her touch. Trying to lead. Looked like Aracena there, but the pass too strong. Smith able to go up for that one, but she loses possession, and this is Sandor. Sandor looking for Hunter. Finds her. Hunter working left to right. Goes across. No one home for the Dolphins. And that one played up by Shear. Again, CSI winning another 50-50 ball in the midfield. Drop off to Mignon. Mignon to Di Stefano. Di Stefano dropping back off to Aracena. Aracena plays the top of the box. Nice job by the Violets once again to control from there. Lee back over Here to Turner. Turner plays it straight up the field, and that will go over our heads and out of bounds. Our substitutions will come into the game. Number 13, Charlotte Herberts. Checks back in. She replaces Benedict. And Nermina Bracic has returned for the Dolphins. She will replace Aracena. And so now with 10 minutes to go in regulation, the Dolphins need a lot of offense in a hurry. Throw in by Keene goes out of play, but once again NYU will reset here offensively. Keene once again will handle the throw in. Straight up the sideline. It skips past number 18, Tori Bianco, who had checked in, and that one will go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Dolphins right near the corner flag. Dolphins pinned in deep. DeLoya looking for the safety of the sidelines, gets it over to Hunter. Hunter sees it back on her foot, but off and out of play. And it will be Bianco who yields now to Brander Carr to take the throw. Looking for the corner of the box. Once again, CSI punches it right out. It'll be a throw-in from deeper inside CSI territory.
Yeah, the Violets have the Dolphins pinned in and getting multiple throw-in opportunities. Dolphins doing a good job keeping everything outside the box.
And that one is punched through on the cross, but intercepting it there was Mulligan, and now a lot of elbowing going on there deep near the goal line. Referee tells everyone to calm down just a bit. As a result of this, a foul for NYU will result in a free kick for the Dolphins. 8:40 remaining in regulation time. The Dolphins, who were shut out for the first time this season against Montclair State on Sunday, in jeopardy of being shut out again here against NYU. 3 first-half goals by the Violets.
And Dave, the Dolphins' run of 7 of 8 non-conference games continues this Saturday afternoon as the Dolphins will travel down and play Rosemont College at 2 o'clock. Then on the road against FDU, a quick conference game against Medgar Evers, and then Stockton College on October 9th. So the non-conference schedule not getting any easier, Dave, for the Dolphins.
No, and of course the non-conference schedule designed to get the CSI Dolphins ready for the postseason against good competition, and they've gotten it. And that one is over the defensive line, but right there to play it is Danielson, as Mignon with fresh legs was bearing down on her. This is Shear controlling here for NYU. Far sideline, gets it back over to Shear, playing it to Lee. Lee able to sidestep past Mignon. Dangerous play there, but Lee makes the play, sends it up towards midfield. As we are now inside of 8 minutes remaining in regulation. NYU continues to control here. Now they win the midfield, able to pour it in through. As we have a long through ball, who will get to it first? It will be Jones, who's right at the top of her box to intercept. That would be past to Brander Carr. Hunter now controls. Hunter able to sidestep the defense, looking for Mignon. Mignon with a quick touch gets it over to Zerpolo. Zerpolo with nobody in front of her now finds Mignon off to her right. And that's been the story of the game, Mike. You know, the Dolphins, when they have been able to get possession in the midfield, the NYU defense has been there almost immediately, and by the time CSI needs to make a decision on who to pass to, just nobody in front of the play.
Yeah, you know, NYU has done a great job keeping numbers back, and, you know, when there's one Dolphin attacking, you're usually seeing 2 or 3 Violets back there defensively.
And this is why these plays have to become so important, because now this allows the Dolphins to dump some white jerseys into play, and it will be Aparicio who essentially will have 7 players in front of her to operate. So here is Aparicio. She will get into this one. A bending ball in the box. NYU there first. Now Sandor got a toe on it, it seemed. It bounces straight up. Still a loose ball in front. NYU looking to clear, and they finally do out of the box, but CSI still maintaining pressure. There's a quick shot to DeLoya. Ball still skipping around towards the top of the box. Now played deeper back out. Di Stefano back over to Aparicio. Plays it through the middle of the field. Smith was there to get a toe poke on it. Mignon there for a brief instant, but now NYU controls and they play it back to their line.
Couple of huge opportunities there, Dave, for the Dolphins. First, the ball went across, but Zappolo just couldn't get a foot on it, and then the ball bounced out, and like you mentioned, DeLoya got the shot on it. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, it hit Zappolo in the box, and the Dolphins couldn't get the ball on goal.
Yeah, there was just a lot going on that play, Mike, and the Dolphins, another good opportunity, but again, unable to register a clean shot in that whole scramble that took place up front. Skied up in the air, Sandor gets ahead on it. CSI continuing again to battle for possession near the midfield as we have another player down for CSI. It's Ashley Hunter who gets up slowly. We have a replay upcoming on that last scramble inside. It all starts from that free kick, Mike. There's the rainbow. It looks like NYU getting a foot on it first. A lot of bodies colliding, all clean play. CSI was looking for a handball on that instance, and the ball skipping out. But here's another opportunity here. This one a little farther out for Aparicio, but once again, 6 attackers in front of her. That one right at the top of the box. Mignon not high enough to get to that one, and here comes NYU the other way.
Yeah, Dave, I'm sorry again.
Well, as this one is a one-on-one opportunity, Aparicio wins the race, dumps off to Jones. Jones spills it promptly towards the sideline. Hunter can't play it clean, but still crisis averted that time for the Dolphins, and NYU had sprung loose. 4 minutes remaining in regulation.
Dave, just going back to that last Dolphins scoring play for a second, it was a beautiful kick into the penalty area by DeLoya. Sandor actually got a foot on it and was taken down to the ground, but the ball skied up in the air, and that led to the couple of Dolphin opportunities. But as you mentioned, they could not get the shot on goal.
So with 3:30 remaining, NYU will still have possession here via the throw. Right near the corner flag, Mike. Trying to get it to Herberts, but it's DeLoya who got there first, shoulder to shoulder with Brander Carr. NYU's able to back it up to Lee, and now they reverse field once again via that defensive line. Something we've seen all game long from the Violets is their ability to switch the field courtesy of that back line of theirs. And that's generated some good offense, but that time NYU loses it. And now we'll have a substitution as Diana Okapina, who's been idle for the last 2.5 minutes here on the sideline, is able to get into the come in, replacing Hunter. Hunter, if you remember, went down hard on NYU side of the field moments ago.
Yeah, so Hunter will come out, and her day most likely done, Dave. Dolphins still looking to press forward, doing a nice job here in the second half. Have really done a much better job limiting NYU's opportunities in the penalty area, and have done a much better job offensively as well.
Yeah, NYU ranked 29th in the nation by Hero Sports. That's their highest ranking on any of the polls, at a record of a modest 4-2-1, Mike, but NYU does not shy away from playing the best colleges in the region. They scored a win over Vassar College earlier this year, St. Joe's College of Long Island. They lost to 2 very, very good teams, Swarthmore and Stevens Tech. They are a class bunch, those 2 schools, and a 2-0 victory against Mount St. Mary, a well-earned 0-0 tie with Scranton, and they beat Farmingdale 3-0. So this is an NYU team that plays the cream of the crop in the region, and 4-2-1 record is very, very respectable.
Yeah, and, you know, they were on the road in both of those games against Swarthmore and Stevens. Lost to Swarthmore 2-1 and just gave up a single goal against Stevens on their home field. So they really did a phenomenal job in that tournament. They lost both games, Dave. They just allowed 3 goals.
And here's Zerpolo battling in the box on a nice feeder from Bornstad. Looked like it might have been even touched with, you know, a forearm there in close by NYU, but either way, NYU is able to avert that danger with 1:20 remaining, and here springing loose is NYU again, middle of the field, 3 white jerseys there, but a prompt giveaway, and here's Elgin with some space, looking in the corner, Mariah Jones giving chase, and she does able to get there with 1 minute remaining in regulation, but wow, a good scramble there on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and, you know, Mariah Jones has been very good here in the second half, Dave. She's made a lot of decisions back in the box and a lot of aggressive decisions, and so far she's been right on every one of them.
Absolutely. Another active half of play by Mariah Jones. NYU 40 seconds away from their 4th straight shutout. And we're talking about some good offensive teams that they've faced: Mount St. Mary, Scranton, Farmingdale, and now CSI. a lot to hang their hat on as they get ready for the first of 7 conference games upcoming for them. CSI with Nicole Mignon looking to come in, but we are going to have about 10 seconds left, and NYU with another feverish rush up the field. Ooh, a big foul there at midfield.
6.
DiStefano went down hard, but promptly up, and that'll do it, Mike, as the last couple of seconds tick off. The NYU Violets will improve to 5-2-1 overall. The Dolphins just 1-3 on this 4-game homestand. Mike will drop to 6-3-1, and they'll get ready for some more heavy competition upcoming. A tough loss for the Dolphins, Mike, but a game where they trailed 3-0 at halftime. The second half a little bit more even, and something to take with them as they continue on their season.
Yeah, Dave, I don't think there's any question that the Dolphins played much better second half than they did in the first half. Again, they fell behind early in this game, and the kind of game where you're playing against a team, as you mentioned, that had already pitched 3 consecutive shutouts, and NYU was able to get a second goal, and then that big third goal off of the Dolphin turnover off the free kick. But Dolphins really came out, played a much better second half, a much stronger second half. Mariah Jones came in, shut the Violets out in the second half, and the Dolphins are going to have to regroup. They've been struggling through their last few games lately, Dave. Just 1 win in their last 4, and they'll look to turn things around Saturday afternoon against Rosemont College.
Absolutely. So for the Dolphins, the next 2 on the road, as we take a look at some final stats here, Mike, courtesy of our truck. 3-0. You see the shots a little bit one-sided, obviously. Shots on goal. There was only 3 of them total in the second half. They all belong to NYU. 10-1 in that department. Mariah Jones and Kayla DiBenedetto share the 7 saves for CSI. And, of course, the corners. There was only 1 in the second half, and that one belonged to CSI. But you notice, Mike, Dolphins, on paper anyway, kept this one close. The shots weren't all that bad, but it was a game that was really dictated by possession, and that's where NYU really took over the game.
Yeah, NYU came out and they played strong, and, to be fair to the Violets, they had a 3-0 lead going in to the start of the second half and didn't really need to score anymore. But for the Dolphins, I thought there's a lot of positives to come away with, Dave, from this game, especially in the second half. They played a lot better offensively. They created opportunities. They had a couple of really good opportunities to score goals. They just weren't able to get that final touch they needed. And, they were also playing to their game here this afternoon without one of their better midfielders in Stephanie LaPointe. So Dolphins able to come out, stabilize things in the second half, play NYU 0-0 in the second half. And, like we said, look to build on those things and get ready to head down about 11 miles west of Philly, Dave, to play Rosemont College this Saturday afternoon.
And for us on CSI Sportsnet, we get a mini vacation of sorts. We're off the air for 10 days before CSI's next home event. It'll be women's volleyball against Farmingdale State on Saturday, October 7th. You see it on your screen. Coverage will begin at 12 noon. It's part of an expected tri-match. We're still waiting for a third team to enter the fray after Bryn Athen bailed out on that one. But it will be CSI women's volleyball versus Farmingdale on Saturday, October 7th. Women's soccer also plays on that day. They play Medgar You can follow the live stats of that live from the CSI soccer field. But looking forward to some tremendous action. And from here on out, we'll do it in the month of October. So that will do it for us. Once again, your final score, 3-0 for our camera operator, Joe Foreman, Arthur Kapetanekis, our engineer and director of the broadcast. For Mike Babuski, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a very good night. Once again, your final score, NYU 3, Staten Island 0. Thanks for joining us right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.